Hello, thank you for staying on. This is Breakfast Live on GTV. Follow our social media handles at GTV Ghana and let's get interactive. We sit as we do most Wednesdays with the CEO of the Minerals Commission, Mr. Martin Ayisi, once again to talk about opportunities in the mining industry and how we can create same for Ghanaians. Today, we'll be summarizing some of the key points from our previous discussions. And remember that we talked about some of the skill sets and training that you might require in order to get a job at the mines. And we also talked about some of the support services that are also vital areas of opportunities. Today, he'll be sharing some insights into some of those employable areas within the mining space. And perhaps you'll want to grab a pen and note down a few things so you can identify some opportunities for yourself. You can catch this conversation on the social media handles of the Minerals Commission on LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Just look for Minerals Commission Ghana. Mr. Ayisi is at our table this morning. Good morning and welcome back.
Morning, Tema.
There are many opportunities. And last week we talked about some of the skill sets and we learned that you could get a job in the mines with only a certificate from a training institution or a technical institution. Today, you are here to talk to us about some of the support services that Ghanaians can take advantage of. Specifically, which areas are we looking at?
Tema, good morning. And then once again, it's a pleasure to be here. Good morning to our viewers too. We will share small scale for a while. When we finish this here, then we'll go back. A few things are worthy of note. When we started these discussions about 2-3 weeks ago, the opportunities, how Ghanaians could get into the space, we broke them into 3 areas. The skill set and training, which I think we have covered enough of that. Today, as you rightfully said in your introductory remarks, we want to start a discussion on the support services. Then once we do that for a while, we'll go into the actual mining too. Now, Tema, let me start this way. It is not everybody who will get a job at the mine. Now, where you want to get a job at the mine, we've taken you through what it's required. Essentially, technical skills. Now, there are some people too, they are not looking to go pick up a license and do exploration with a view to mining if they define some kind of a resource or reserve or find a mineral, so to speak. But then also there are a lot of opportunities for people who can just get some services, or let me make it very simple, provide some supplies to the mine all year round. And if you ask me, that's where the money is. So we call it mine support services. These are services and products that the mines use practically every day for their activities. Now, we've been saying over the years that mining do not benefit us. But when we sat down and we checked the books, we realized that they spend more to procure services and then supplies for their everyday activities than they give to government by way of receipts in terms of royalties and then taxes. So what we did over the years is realize that no, a whole lot of the supplies or the equipment and then the items they use, the components, can be done here. So we came out with what we call the procurement list. We've moved from 10 maybe years ago to now 50. So 2019 it was 29. And then we moved to 41 last year. And then now we are doing 50. What informed this list, which basically covers the services and the items that the mines require? Tema, the law allows us every year to do a review and see what we can add or remove. We will never remove anything. We can only be adding. Now, if you don't do this, what will happen is that they'll bring people from outside to come and do it. So we have broken the services and the supply thing to 3 categories. Areas that are practically open to anybody. So whether a Ghanaian or anybody can just walk in, go to the registration process, and then get a contract at the mine. Then the second category are areas that are reserved for Ghanaians. And then the third category, constitutes services that are reserved for Ghanaians living around the vicinity of the mine. So we'll take them from this triangle. I will want to start first with services that can only be done by Ghanaians. We don't allow foreigners to do it. Over the years, we are allowing that. So all this comes into an area of local content, goods and services. Because when you say they should also list on the stock exchange, it's also local content. So what are the services that are reserved for Ghanaians which people can enter into that space and make money? We are saying that if you want to do contract mining, any mining company that wants to go into contract mining, you cannot give it to a foreigner. But let me explain. You see, there are two ways in which a company can undertake mining. You either do it yourself, sometimes they call it owner mining, or you give it out for other people to do it. So like here, GBC, you can decide to engage cleaners. They'll be on your payroll and pay them as if they are GBC staff, or outsource to cleaning companies to do it, and then you pay them monthly by way of a contract. Now, mining can be done in two ways. You either do it open pit, or the kind of thing you saw at Golden Star underground. So we have decided that I think 2019 or so, any contract that a company wants to give out for somebody to come and mine, once it is open pit, you cannot allow a foreign company to do it. So until recently, companies from Australia, South Africa, Canada and co, mainly Australian and South Africans, they were doing it. We have said that we have enough capacity now, so we've taken them out. The underground, we have about 8 or so mines. It's a bit challenging. You went there, now you understand. A lot of technology is quite complex. Even that one, we are preserving some space for some Ghanaians. So we move from 30 to about 40% now. So that is the state of play. So Golden Star, they are doing themselves. Where you went, they are doing themselves. In the event they decide to give it out, they have to ensure that at least 40% they bring in a Ghanaian. 2029 report, which is available, about $1.7 billion was spent on goods and services by the mining companies. Just 29 items. 29 items. Now I'm talking about 50. So you can imagine if the data comes out for 2022 report. And about $1 billion alone went to contract mining. Yes. Now we have been told that Cardinal, Azuma, and lithium, they all go by way of contract mining. So that means more billions will be coming. And they are all surface operations. We have preserved this for Ghanaians. In fact, Cardinal has even advertised it's close. They are even doing some assessment or so. It's most likely will go to a Ghanaian. So this is what we are doing. If we didn't do this, they will have given it to Australians. So that is the state of play on contract mining, a very big area.
And you need a lot of money.
Oh, you need a lot of money, but people started small. Now you have over about 15 or so Ghanaian registered companies with Minerals Commission that are doing it.
Is there a requirement to prove availability of funds to be
you can go to bank. You can go to bank and get money. You can go to the bank, or you can get a letter from the bank and say you have what it takes. That's it. People started, there were just about 1 or 2 companies that were doing. Now we have over 15, and it's Ghanaians who are doing it.
And what's the procedure?
Oh, procedure is that, let me start this way. You cannot get any job at any mine in Ghana, either to supply a particular commodity or item or carry out a particular service, unless you are fully registered with the Minerals Commission. So you go online and then you apply. The kind of service you want to provide is there. The form and the processing fee is just a city equivalent of $750 for the big ticket ones. It comes out with a business plan. How the plan should be prepared is available online. Then you submit it. If it's well done, within a week, 2, 3, maximum within a month, we should be able to register you. But this is what we have done to make sure that things are friendly. If any Ghanaian shows up with a contract today from any mine, and you are not registered with us, what the mining company will tell you that unless you go get your registration done by Minerals Commission, you cannot start work. If you showed up at our office today, or you send us an email, we'll give you, we'll send an email to the company that they should allow you to, bid or even start work once you lodge an application. We do that, so that's how flexible we are to make sure that, because you see, the mining company will not wait for you. Everything is time bound. They want you to start the work maybe next week, complete in 3 months. They have a schedule, so they will not wait for you. So for Ghanaians, I have devised that flexibility where once he brings a proof of a contract or some kind of a letter of intent, all that will require is a lodge an application, submit all the supporting documents, go start to work.
Okay,
so that's what we do.
Big monies for contract
Lots
mining.
of money.
But then when it comes to the other support services, which are not as capital intensive, there are also vast opportunities.
Everything is capital intensive. Everything is capital intensive. It depends on the degree.
Okay.
I wanted to take you through the list of because you see the discussion is opportunity for Ghanaians. So contract mining, open pit goes to Ghanaians. Okay. And then haulage. So for instance, for now, Ghana Manganese and Ghana Bauxite, they haul their ore to the port for export. We're taking plans and very serious measures to make sure that these things are processed here. So those trucks that take the ore body to Takoradi port for export, that contract can only go to Ghanaians. So Ghanaians are the ones doing the haulage. 2021, the report shows that about $83 million was spent on haulage. You see, these people who go for these services, they are not miners. They just take their trucks. Some have 5, some have 20, some have 10. You go, you apply, they take you through it. And then when you get a contract, you hire drivers and other people to do the haulage for you. And then catering services too. These are 2021 figures. Catering, that's about $26 million. And I'm saying this is 2021. Now, you went underground to Golden Star and you saw that they provide food for them morning, afternoon, evening. So that job has been given to a company, Ghanaian, registered. And he or she is supposed to ensure that food is available. That is it. So you see, the woman is not working at the mine as an engineer or any other technician. She's just gotten a catering job. And almost all the mine have, caterers. This goes to Ghanaians. That is it. And then also we have security. Until 2019, security, anybody could do it. There were a lot of companies from South Africa that were into security. We've taken them out. So now, every mine in Ghana, you give your security to Ghanaian registered companies. So Golden Star, all those who took you through all those strenuous security measures, because it is gold, they are not employees of the company. They are employees of that company that has been given the security contract. So when we are compiling the data and we are asking for statistics, so when for example Golden Star, they file their monthly report, they indicate direct and indirect. So the direct will be those sweet ladies you saw there. They are directly employed by the company, mine surveyors, mechanical engineers, and technicians occupying various roles. Those are direct. So they will tell you maybe 400, and they are supposed to break them down: male, female, senior, junior, middle level. So it's well structured. Then you also tell us indirect. So if you have a contract for a caterer, you have to tell us that the caterer has employed 40 people, drivers, those who do the cleaning, etc. If you have given your medical services to a Ghanaian company, tell us how many doctors and health and other health officials on site. So when a company tells you that, I've given a job to, let's say, 5,000 people, he's talking about direct and indirect. So that's also an area that goes to Ghana. So haulage, security, catering, and then contract mining, open pit. These are reserved for Ghanaians. We've also added some other new things this year. All medical services at the mine site should go to Ghanaian companies. Okay? You don't need to be a doctor to get a job or register a company. Thelma, you can set up a company. Why? There are hospitals and clinics that are owned by persons who are not doctors. There are people who have studied health administration, or maybe he's rich. He's gotten some money. They've come together and said they want to set up a clinic. Then you will now get the doctors and all those things and then put in a bid. Okay? Nothing also stops a doctor from teaming up with other people. So this year, medical services for Ghanaians. So the doctors or those who are interested in health services, if they are hearing me, there are opportunities at the mine site for medical facility. Every mining company have doctors, they have hospitals and clinics on site. So new months like this, you are talking about 8,000. And it might go to 10,000 because of the new mine they are building. Now, for the medical services, it includes the spouse, then children. So those ladies that you saw there when you went underground, if they are married, it will cover their husbands and their children. Do you get it? So it is quite expensive. They spend so much on medical service around the clock. Okay? All kinds of specialists are on site because some of these mines are deep down there. So there are opportunities for Ghanaians who want to go into providing medical services and infrastructure at the mine. And you can do it in two ways. You either bid and get a contract and do it, or you supply medical facilities to whoever won the contract. So there are various aspects of it. This year too, we also added TSF. What is TSF? Tailings Storage Facility. Term until January this year, these were going to foreign companies, Australia, South Africans. We've taken them out because over the years we built capacity. I'll find time in the subsequent segments to discuss the fact that, look, Ghanaians need to prepare themselves. And then we'll preserve that space for you. You cannot just we don't get up and put something on the list just because we want Ghanaians to do it and the money stay here. We need to be careful and make sure that we have the capacity. Now, the TSF is just a dam. So when they do all those processing and all those waste and water and all those dirty stuff and chemicals, they have to go and put them in a pond or kind of a dam, let's put it that way, to store them for a while before they decommission them. Tema, they are very expensive. If I toss some figures now, you'll be surprised. The one Cardinal is building is over $30 million. Okay, the TSF. January this year, so that means within the 4-5 months now, if we have not put it on the list, they will have given it to South Africans or Chinese. A Ghanaian got a contract, he's doing it. So where would the money stay? Here. So that's an opportunity. Only few Ghanaians can do this, but about 6, 7, or 8 are registered with us. The foreigners are getting angry because they think we are kicking them out, but they also know it is very difficult to get a job in South Africa if you're a foreigner. They will not allow you. So where we have capacity, people should understand. So that is it. Iduaprim is building a TSF. Iduaprim is another mine I'll arrange for you to go, because I don't want you to do only the underground. Their tailings storage facility, phase 1 and 2, is about $72 million. Okay, so millions of dollars, and every mining company has a TSF. Okay, so on our list we say construction and management of TSF is now preserved for Ghanaians. That's why the list has ballooned to 50. So TSF is new, medical facilities new. So prepare yourself, and it requires a lot of technology. This is a specialized skill. If you don't do it very well and there's speculation or a heavy rainfall area like Western region, and then dams do collapse all over the world, even in the developed country. Years back, there was one in Brazil, Brumadinho, and everybody will be killed. So Ghanaians can do it now. That is that. So that is in terms of the areas preserved for Ghanaians. There are some areas that are also open to everyone. But I need to say this. Tema, I am very careful. The Minerals Commission is very careful when it comes to manufacturing and engineering. We are very careful in driving foreigners out. Because you see, when a company comes in here and set up a plant to produce a particular mineral, like a particular item or component, let's say steel balls that they use in a mine, he's invested $100 million. You cannot ask him to leave. So those who are into manufacturing and developing this scientific product that the mining companies need, we open it to everybody. we don't drive them away. Other than that, you'll be told you are bad for investment. But that is it. So my favorite one again, preserved for Ghanaians, fuel and lubricants. 2021, okay, $304 million was spent on fuel. Did you hear the figure? 2021, when we compile our statistics, okay, the items on the list then was 29. Now we are talking about 50. Fuel is one of the areas that we have preserved for Ghanaians. Before 2021, that is 2019, fuel free for all. So Total, Vivo, Engie, they were supplying fuel. And it was $100 million. And then we decided to put it on a list and say, hey, we cannot allow foreigners to supply fuel to the mine. They can go to the other retail sector. The report has been compiled. So within 2 years, we jumped from 100 million to $304 million. So you can imagine Cardinal, a half north of Newmont, lithium that is coming, Azuma, this big four that we discussed. So very soon, I'll not be surprised if I come and discuss the 2022 report and I'll be talking about 500 million. So maybe in the next 3, 4, 5 years, fuel alone will be 1 billion. So here we are, 6 March 1957. Obuasi mine 1897 or so, over 100 years. Ghana bauxite 1941, 80 something years. Okay? How long have we had independence? 60 something years. And then we sit here and allow foreigners, Abamanemi, Nabaho Petro. So the accounts will say, Ukoya na Ubaye. So we have stopped it. So I'm saying that those who operate fuel filling stations or OMCs, whatever they call it, there are opportunities for you. So you see, if you operate a filling station, you are not a miner. You don't need to come and pick a license from us. It's a service that we have preserved for Ghanaians. All that you need to do is that if you see the advert, come and register with us. Or if you see the advert, put in a bid, come for a letter, and if you win, so be it. So a lot of Ghanaians are now doing those kind of stuff. That is what is happening now.
We've gone through haulage, catering, security, medical services, TSF, construction and management, manufacturing and engineering, which is a shared space. Ghanaians are in there, but foreigners are allowed as well. Fuel and lubricants. But I'm seeing a 50 item list, and so I'll go through a few of them, and then perhaps Mr. Ayisi would want to clarify some of the issues. So on the items, we have grinding media, explosives, cement and cement products, quick and hydrated lime, electrical cables, high density polythene, general lubricants, retreading of tires, bolts and nuts, crucibles, plastic sample bags, calico bags, bullion boxes, plastic sample bags. So all these you can provide to the mines as a support service. I've mentioned haulage, overalls and work clothes. You saw me wearing some of the overalls when I visited the mines.
Yes.
Conveyor rollers, chain link fencing, legal services are also on the list. We've talked about contract mining, surface operations, fuel. We've talked about cable bolts and accessories, wear resistant plates, and other things I can't even pronounce. Civil works, geological ground survey, freight forwarding services, warehousing, complete logistics services, oxygen also on the list. Assaying, plant installation activities, steel supply and fabrication, conveyor idlers, cutlass exports resins, and then slurry, water and sewage. So all those items, 50 on the list. The Minerals Commission calls it the new procurement list, 5th edition. So this information is available on the Minerals Commission's website, and you can also access it on their social media handles, which I announced earlier. Mr. Ayisi, before we wrap it up, how easy is it to get in position to prepare to supply any of these services? Someone is listening, has heard something that they are interested in. What should they do?
The application process is quite easy. We do it. I mean, we help people. I've just told you that if you see an advert, now all mining companies are now bound to advertise. So you will get to see it anyway in the papers. Now it's mandatory. I've asked them to advertise.
Anybody can do it.
So you can advertise.
No hidden.
You can advertise. Okay, they are supposed to advertise. On my side, the registration process is very simple. For Ghanaians, I'm saying if you see an advert, so let's say if you have a filling station and you've just seen a species of interest to supply fuel, okay, you can just run to us, lodge an application. We will allow you to put in a bid before you get registered. That's how easy it is. Also, the 40 or 50 people who will bid to supply fuel to Anglo Gold is not for me to determine. But at the end of the day, 1 or 2 persons will get it. That's how it works.
Stacey, thank you.
But I've made the registration process very simple. When we complete the list, we will now come and discuss what goes into getting registered, the requirements, what do you need to provide. But I don't think you need to take that long. There's always that flexibility.
I think we booked ourselves another date for a conversation with Minerals Commission on the registration processes and formalities, all talking about opportunities for Ghanaians within the mining sector. And you don't need to be a mine specialist. You don't need to be a technician or a welder to be able to benefit from these opportunities. You can get into something as it suits you, catering, fuel supply, and you can be a part of that multi-billion-dollar support service space offered for Ghanaians in the mining sector. Mr. Martin Ayisi is the CEO of the Minerals Commission. Thank you for sitting with us. Next, we'll be talking